Hello, ma'am. Ma'am, shall we start now?
Yes, I'm waiting, please.
Yes, ma'am. Sure. So let us start without any delay. A warm welcome and good evening to everyone present here. So without any further delay, we shall move to the session. With immense pleasure, I welcome our guest and keynote speaker, Dr. Jyoti Vora, CEO of DHIRANG Consultants, Mumbai. I request Ms. Varshini Sriram to address the speaker.
Thank you. Good evening, and I welcome all the participants and speaker. I am privileged to welcome Dr. Jyoti Vora, CEO, DHIRANG Consultants. Dr. Jyoti Vora completed her M.Sc, Ph.D, F.S.Sc, MASFFBC, CME in USA, and has worked as a nutritional consultant at Raleigh Medical Center, North Carolina. Ma'am is a certified functional food scientist, Functional Food Center USA, academician, author, and mentor for startups and nascent entrepreneurs. She is an industrial consultant in biochemistry and food science and quality control, doctoral research guide of 2 universities with teaching and training experience of 33 years. She is a trainer in soft skills, emotional quotient enhancement, and a storyteller. She bears the credit of conductance of 69 workshops and training programs for industry professionals in India and overseas. Author of 11 books and published 109 papers in international journals. Recipient of National Gold Medal for Women Scientists and K.K.Tripathi Gold Medal National Award. Qualified wine evaluator from Paris. Full voting member of OWSD, NSI, ICSA, IDA, ISNNN. She has been the organizing committee member and keynote plenary speaker at several international conferences. With much honor and delight, I welcome Dr. Jyoti Vora once again. Welcome, ma'am, and now the platform is all yours.
Thank you so much, Varshini, Brinda, my new friends of the wonderful Novus 2020 team. And it's truly my pleasure to be right here speaking to you about something which is very much needed today, tomorrow, and the days to come. We are witnessing something which we could have never imagined in our lives. And therefore, we are at a bit of a loss as to how to work it out, how to preserve our health, safety. Every day there are new horrors coming up. So at the base point of that, it's a good idea if someone holds your hand and takes you down the road and says, look, this is the road map. But road map to what? Suddenly we realize that you don't need all the clothes that you have in your cupboard. You don't need all the beautiful shoes and sandals that you have stocked up buying it from here and there. You don't need anything except holistic wellness. And therefore, it's my endeavor to talk to you about the roadmap to holistic wellness. And I'm giving you a food science perspective. As a consumer, as a cook, as a person who's serving, as a person who's storing food, what is your perspective going to be? It's customary to thank the organizers before you begin your talk, but I'm not going to do that. What I am going to do is compliment Brinda and her team. I'm hugely impressed. Our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Sahib Modi, has brought up a very nice phrase called Atmanirbhar Bharat. And I think the Novus team is personification of that Atmanirbharta. They did not wait for teachers, they did not wait for faculty, they did not wait for anyone. They just got together as a team and they decided that it's a good idea to have sets of people with a little more experience in the world of science, technology, nanotechnology, industry, and so on, to enrich the minds of each and everyone who cares to attend this very beautiful array of talks that have begun yesterday and go on till, I think, the 24th. Brinda, correct me if I'm wrong. And therefore, I think they deserve the compliments. And with this, I will begin with my presentation.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Yeah, my pleasure, totally. I've called it a psychosomatic key to a healthy you. It's a diet to disease insight. I made this presentation for you because you all are dear to me. So there are little smileys and, emojis and all to take you along the way. But there is a serious biochemical logic below all this. What is the connection? When the pandemic began, and like we keep on saying, अभी हमारा पुनर्जन्म हुआ है, पिछले जन्म में क्या किया था, that kind of thing. So we were in era of life where we never even knew what was going to happen the very next day. And then this pandemic happened, and when it happened, took the entire world in its whirlpool vortex. The first point was, okay, look out for a vaccine, how to prevent yourself, so on and so forth. The second was, how do you protect yourself? And at the bottom of all this, a single 4-letter word came up, and that was food. In 6th century BC, Hippocrates said that let food be thy medicine. But I'll be more Indian and tell you that in Sanskrit we say Anna He Purna Brahma. At the fulcrum of all Genesis is food. So naturally, if you want to be healthy, you have to address your diet. How does diet and disease connect? Diet, dietary management, dietary interventions, all are at the base point of 3 components of disease management. First is what we learned in school, prevention is better than cure. So you have a nice balanced diet and you just prevent the disease. And once you do that, you're in a happy space. Second is a little philosophical, that yes, now the disease has happened. What should we do? You study the biochemistry of the disease, address the food that you consume, and it is going to help you to make the whole thing more curative. We in India, with our wonderful Vedic culture, today at the backdrop of our 15th of August, which we celebrated, we are indeed a very proud country because the world is looking to us. The world has recognized the weightage and the serious science of Veds. And at the bottom of it, it's always understood that nutraceutical, Vedic herbs, all kinds of bioactives are the ones which help the disease to be cured. Now there can be diseases which are incurable. Good example is AIDS. Good example is diabetes mellitus. What do? You will have to manage those diseases. And even there, diet becomes a very important thing. And above all that, what is the Latin name for our species? It's none other than Homo sapiens, thinking species. So we emote and we, emotionally connect to everything. And therefore, we are psychosomatically keyed to the apex of the evolutionary ladder. We are the highest species because of that emotional empathy, emotional intelligence that we are supposed to have. Having said that, you are going to feel as good in your mind if your body is feeling good. And you are going to be that comfortable in your body if your mind is feeling good. So everyone strives for happiness. And the word psycho means mental, somatic means in the body. So we are going to address both these concepts as we go along. The gastronome that I am, I love food. I love to cook food. I love to serve food. And I'm sure it's the same with you. I intend to serve you in a little light-hearted way, a multi-course meal today. So I hope you're going to enjoy what I have cooked and I'm serving by way of the presentation. The first is the entrees. Entree is a French word for starters. We are what we eat. The optimization of the body biochemistry is totally dependent on the dietary intake. And therefore, like I kept saying, diet and disease, they are emphatically linked. The beautiful part about our body and its biochemistry is, suppose you have gone wrong with what you have been eating. Never mind. Start a new habit now. And before you know, your body is going to be optimized. And that's the quick way in which the body is capable of rejuvenating itself. Again, what I said, you are your best asset. There is no question of how much bank balance there is. What are you going to do? All the malls are closed. You want to see a film? All the theaters are closed. You want jewelry? How much jewelry are you going to wear sitting in your home? So just concentrate on the best part about your life, and that is you yourself. Because the moment you understand that, you will start managing your best asset, that is you. And once it becomes well managed, it will be a resource. I'd like to become an English teacher for a while. What is a resource? Something where you can go back again and again to obtain the benefit. So something like wisdom, something like knowledge, something like logic, which people keep coming back to you because, yes, you know about it. Would you like to talk about it? So I've put in all the pictures of yummy things, samosas and good chutney and so on, for you to feel very excited about food and tackle food in a nice way. Like Varshini nicely said that, yes, I've spent a good part of my life being with students, being with young professionals. And let me tell you, you are quite messed up as far as food is concerned. The UN and WHO carried out a study in, the beginning of 2019, not at the time of the pandemic, that eating disorders are very, very high in your age group. And that age group I'm addressing is, let's say, roughly 21 to 45. That's really bad because you are very messed up, concerned with food, approach to food, intake of food, food habits, and that kind of thing. So beware of that, please. Health is wealth. Absolutely no other way of putting it. It is the most indispensable commodity or gadget or anything else that you might call it, and the human machine is paramount. What is the UN story? When 1944, the Second World War came to an end, the countries said that if there's going to be a third world war, there's never going to be another world. And unfortunately, a lot of people call the pandemic the Third World War. But nevertheless, at that time, it was said that you have to come together, do something for the betterment of mankind. And at that time, it was understood that let us define good health. So what was the definition of good health in 1944? Good health is absence of disease. However, in the Genevan Convention of 1996 and subsequent to that in 2006, this whole concept of health was revised. Health was deleted and a new word came up, and that was called wellness. What is the difference between health and wellness? You may be a person who has no disease. Good for you. But you must be, if you're going to be categorized as healthy, then it's a wrong thing. Because you have no empathy, you have no initiative, you have no connection to people around you, then you're not a very well subject. Therefore, today, emotional, mental, psychological, physical, and naturally professional health is all connected together in a new word called wellness. So the entrees or the starters have been served. I hope you like them, and this is what we are talking about. This is the main course. Address very simple, home-cooked, wholesome meals in a mindful way. Agreed that we are all now captured with technology. I am with you, you are with me, people are from different parts of the world. We haven't seen each other, but it's virtual. Good enough. But you cannot be consuming your food with a smartphone or a tablet in your hand. You cannot be actually tackling what you have to eat without even looking at your plate. Therefore, the main cause says that please indulge in very simple, wholesome, balanced meals where you look into your plate. Say thank you to the Almighty for giving whatever has been given to you. Look at the, less fortunate people. And once you've done that, then you are on the main course to wellness and good health. Therefore, how do you work out what food to eat, how to behave in a food market, even if it's virtual? And I thought, ironically, I'll use the term rainbow. You know that I am in Mumbai, and for the past almost 15 days, our beautiful city has been battered with rain. There's no rainbow, there's nothing, just sheets of rain coming. And I was quite early, Brinda knows it, because I was a bit nervous about the technology part of it. Because outside it is raining. And yet, I'm going to use these 7 nice colors to take you through what is known as food guide, how to choose the best food. First of all, you plan. Even this presentation, you can see I planned it quite well. I'm feeling very proud about it. I did it for you. Why did I do it? It brought me joy. I've made a good friend, Brinda. We have been talking on the phone. She has been most helpful. Today, another friend, Varshini, and many more whom I don't even know your name. So having said that, even if you think of what should we eat tomorrow, and tomorrow, let us say, is the 18th of August, then you plan out what you're planning to eat. Because under the beautiful aura of food, there is a curse word called perishability. And this perishability means food spoils. If food is not fresh, it's not going to be good for your body. And therefore, you have to plan a meal in a proper manner. Just sit down and write down what you are planning. If you're at home, then you know how it is. Your mother makes such an effort. And yet every day someone has a newer demand. So you have to plan your meal in a very, very proper manner and make sure that you buy exactly how much you need and not over the top. I still remember, and I'm sure you do, that when they declared the lockdown and curfew, it was like a war-like situation. No one ran to the jewelry store. No one ran to a boutique. No one ran to a film theater. Everyone ran to the food stores, and they kept on buying things, saying, "Arey, what if we don't get tomorrow?" So exactly that. You have to be very clear of what you're buying and how much you're buying. Then you purchase. You see, society says that you get the society which you want. So similarly, consumerism says that if you are a discerning consumer, if you demand the best, then you're going to get the best. So good fruits, good vegetables, don't bother about the money. A lot of times I give talks and I recommend you must have dry fruits. And people turn around and say, ma'am, dry fruit to bahut महंगे होते हैं and they're rather expensive. So I always tell them, हाँ, लेकिन दवाइयाँ उससे भी ज़्यादा महंगी होती हैं. Do not compromise on the quality of food just because of a projected price which is there in your mind. Please purchase the best as far as food is concerned. Today, the F.S.Sc, the nodal body of food safety in India, has made sure that you are capable of getting the best because labels, branding, shelf life, best before, everything is printed. Take your time, look at it, look at the weights, find out the batch number, check out the company. Don't get taken in by cult concepts. We don't need to eat something like quinoa. You don't need it. You have enough grains in your own beautiful country. So please buy what is local and think global so that you're going to be healthy. Then you prepare and process. It is said that if you prepare food with a very calm and quiet mind, the way it is done in temples, the way we prepare what is called nevidyam, what exactly we offer the deity, food is never going to disagree with you, because there is a piety, there is a holiness, there is a kind of positivity in all kinds of processes which go into making the dish. You might say, ma'am, what is processing? A simple concept that if you have been handed over an orange, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to peel it. And process can be as simple as that. If you have one large apple and there are 4 friends, you will wash the apple and then you will cut it. So processing is washing and cutting. So preparation and processing become the next best thing in the whole concept of food presentation, food consumption, and food science. I'd like to ask you to notice that I have ensured that each of the colors of the rainbow begin with the word P. So I hope you noticed that. Then portionalize. In diet management, we talk of something called RDA, required dietary allowance, required daily allowance. So exactly how much what has to be had. And that's exactly the portion size has to be. If you are cooking for 4 people, how much are you going to take so that each and everyone is going to be quite satisfied? And at the end of it, a little amount remains so that in case someone wants a little extra, they can have it. In your daily diet, and I have shown you a kind of diagram also, at least 1/4 excellent amount of protein should be consumed. See, I'm being very clear. I'm selling vegetarianism. I'm a practicing Brahmin. I'm selling vegetarianism. You're much better off if you have a balanced diet, which is vegetarian. We have all kinds of legumes. We have all kinds of wonderful dry fruits. We have great amount of protein. This is the land of Sri Krishna. Why are we forgetting that? So enough protein is available. Vegetables and of various kinds. You can see the top is leafy vegetables and the bottom is some colored vegetables. And that colored vegetable, of course, is full of xanthophyll, it's full of beta carotene, it's giving you all the 45 nutrients that you're going to need in your balanced diet. It's right there. So half of it should be your vegetables. And starch. Do not go in for exclusion diets. It's all rubbish. I'll be frank with you, and here I'd like to be your teacher for a moment. Do not believe everything that comes on the WhatsApp, and do not believe everything that you look at on the net unless it is nicely reference oriented. A lot of false information is being given by unethical people trying to market something, trying to brainwash you. That's exactly what the whole thing is. So don't believe that you should stop having starch, you should stop having protein. It's all illogical. It is going to disturb your biochemistry, and the single asset that you have, wellness, is going to be lost. So please make sure that you portionalize. Then you present. The moment you look at this dessert, you feel like eating it. Yes, definitely. Because as I said, we are people who are emotionally connected to everything, including food. And therefore, when we look at food, when we smell food, when we touch food, when we hear about food, when we taste food, and when we have the memory of food. Everything is connected to a science known as organoleptic evaluation or sensory evaluation. And you can very well see that this is a very appetizing dessert. You feel like having it. And it's whole, intact, clean, very well presented, lovely colors, and so on. So even in our Indian context, and I am going to talk about the Indian thali for a bit later, all this is taken care of. It's a feast to your senses before you begin consuming it. Then you prayerfully accept. This definitely has to be done. You can see I have deliberately shown a family sitting together, all of them praying before they consume their food. In our own Vedic culture, we have a beautiful shlok which talks of how we should, with grace, accept everything that has been given to us. The moment you do that, you are going to have a good digestion, you're going to assimilate the food properly, it's going to be utilized, it will contribute to your wellness, and your biochemistry will be optimized. So all of this comes from a very scientific, methodical, highly heritage-oriented procedure, which we call the food guide. Then you partake. What fun eating like this with friends, a lot of laughter. So I just put these little birds and how each of them is enjoying. There is no fighting and there's lots to eat and they're consuming it. So once you partake or you consume, it's going to be a good food memory, and that is then seriously going to contribute to your wellness and good health in the long run, making sure that diseases can be prevented, making sure that the disease, if it is there, can be cured, and making sure that if it cannot be cured, at least it can be managed very well. Now, what's the dessert? All this while it was the main course. We began by, and just a little revision I thought would be nice at this stage. You plan, you purchase, you prepare and process, you portionalize, you present, you prayerfully accept, and finally you partake. So then what is the dessert of this whole offering that I have brought for you? The dessert is always something which gives you a sweet tiding, something which will bring a smile to your face. And you can see I have carefully chosen mousses and other things which all of you much like and which can be consumed. I will repeat by saying there is nothing wrong in eating dessert. There is nothing wrong in eating ice cream. There is nothing wrong in eating sweet meats. Only it has to be in moderation. So exclusion diets should never be followed. You cannot have this, you cannot eat this, it's not good for you. Everything that the Almighty has made is extremely good for you, provided you know how to use it and not misuse it. So now we come to the 10 commandments to be a smart consumer. I thought I'd use the word smart because आजकल तो smart का ज़माना है. Smartphone, smart सब कुछ. Okay, so let's talk of a smart consumer as far as food science is concerned. And these 10 dictums are very important. As I said, smartphones are dumb. Please discard them while eating. Please discard them while enjoying your meal. In my lab, I used to ensure that tiffin time had to be minus the phone. So we had a nice tray and everyone would surrender their smartphones. Then they would sit and calmly eat their tiffin. You'll be surprised to know that I am a biochemist, so Our labs were related to biochemical experiments, to a bit of nanotechnology. I'm sure Brinda is listening, and definitely, a lot of food science. And you will be amazed to know that the moment I started this practice, number one, students were healthier. Number two, there was less of fights, among the students during the practicals. And number three, there was less breakage of glassware. Because if you are going to eat with your phone in front of you looking at the WhatsApp, it's the most dumb thing that you can do. Because you are never going to pay attention to what you've eaten. And the wonderful hormones like kinetin, secretin, all the leptins for appetite, hunger, satiety, they are going to be compromised. So please do not connect to the phone when you're eating. That's the first point of consumerism. Please smile. Easiest thing to do. Lot of endorphins. I hope my talk is bringing some smiles to you. And these smileys are jumping up and down to show you that that's how the energy comes in. And once the happiness molecules are generated in you, then life is good. I mean, there's no problem whatsoever. Avoid fads, avoid fetishes, and think about fashion in a very signature manner. Here I'm going to again become your teacher. What is a fad? Oh, so and so did it on television, so I must do that. You see, with due respect, a film star's diet is not going to suit you because you're not a film star. You don't need to be a film star. You're better than a film star. So please, mindlessly and in a blinded manner, in a kind of brainwashed manner, don't follow fads. You don't need olive oil. We have enough good oils in India. You do not need quinoa. You do not need any of the imports coming in beyond the point. In our own Vedic land, blessed land, Bharatvarsh, we have enough things which are going to make you very strong and proper. And Indians are known to be very brainy, very sorted out. So feel proud to be an Indian. What is a fetish? You brainwash yourself again, saying, this doesn't agree with me. If I have curd at night, then I get a cough. If I, drink cold water, this happens. Don't. You are creating a cage for yourself. So please avoid all that. Fashion, yes, good enough. What is fashion? Something which defines your self-worth. You're the most beautiful person. Tell yourself a million times. Look at yourself in the mirror. It is not a concept of being a narcissist. It's a concept of liking what you are. And once you do that, then the fads and fetishes related to food science automatically disappear. Zero figure is weird. Zero figure is stupid. Zero figure is related to self-demolition. So please don't connect to it. Be full of self-worth. Look at yourself. Admire the qualities that God has given you. Work on them. And once you do that, you're going to be full of self-worth. You are going to be the fountainhead for advice, counseling, simple connections with people around you, and things are going to be much better. And all of it is going to reflect in your day-to-day habits, the way you live, the way you eat, and the way you imbibe. As I said, eating disorders. There is no such thing as I have to be, like we say, hourglass figure. Oh no. You're just okay if you haven't fallen ill. You're just okay if you're getting a good night's rest. You're just okay if you're mentally sorted out. You're just okay if you feel hungry. And therefore, eating disorders like bulimia, anorexia nervosa, these are really bad. I was going to tell Brinda otherwise. But I'm saying it now. These are topics which students should know about. I'll be very happy to volunteer to talk about all this because it's important. So throw that tape out of the window and don't bother about numbers. Be energetic, be smiley, and eating disorders will not be, the order of the day. Unfortunately, in your age group, they are a reality, and therefore they have to be dealt with. Depression, dementia, I'm very sorry, the word suicide, all these are realities. People feeling miserable because they just don't know what to do. They are lost souls, so you have to take care of that. Socio-cultural aspects of eating. When you were small, your mother told you, share and eat. And we used to always feel a bit bad saying, oh, I like this laddu so much. Oh, I like this chocolate so much. And Amma is saying, I have to share. That's exactly what the whole concept is. You have to share, you have to empathize. In Urdu, there's a word called hum thal. You sit along with someone and eat. And that is going to make you a smart consumer, a smart human being, and a wonderful wellness-oriented person. Don't believe what you see, believe what you observe. This is very much there for consumerism. What looks great, what is shown with a lot of, tam-jham, what is shown with glamour. Please be very careful to read the small print. You are knowledgeable, you are the India of tomorrow. Make sure that you develop this habit from student days itself, that you observe things. Are you sure it is really as good as can be, proclaimed? Someone tells you, oh, you have this tablet and it's going to make you live for 100 years. You'll have to be a bit careful and ask him how many great grandfathers and mothers are there in your home, because if everyone has taken this tablet, they all must be 100 and they are all living there. So be discerning, be intelligent as a consumer. And then as far as food, you are going to be very comfortable. Here I'm going to use a single phrase which is very important: quality control. If someone sells you a dupatta and it runs color, you're going to curse that person, you're going to tell your friend never go to that shop, you're going to make sure that you yourself don't go to that shop. Story ends there. You have been cheated as a consumer. However, if you consume sub-quality food, I'm very sorry, number one, you have been cheated as a consumer, and number two, it's going to have short and long term effects on your wellness. So please be very careful when you buy food, when you tackle things related to food. Like I always say, hunger and anger, they don't rhyme just for the heck of it. There is a reason. Never shop when you're hungry. Never shop when you're angry. And never shop when you're in a hurry, because you're going to end up buying things which are not good for you. So don't believe what you see, believe what you observe. Wash your hands. I do workshops on what is called good hygienic practices. And I laugh to myself and say, number one, this is exactly what our mothers have been telling us. And number two, it is all there in our Indian Vedic culture. Washing of hands is called Hasta Prashchalan, Sanskrit for washing of hands. And today the world proclaims, yes, you have to wash your hands with a sanitizer, with good amount of water before you consume your food, because everything is going to be internalized into your body through your fingers and hands. So please ensure that you undergo good hygienic practices. We call them GHP. I've been talking about your mother a lot, and she's the best person. So please listen to your mother. Even today, we feel we are too grown up. You don't know anything. You haven't been reading. You don't watch television. You're not fashionable. These are some of the things we have been rather cruel to our mother saying it. But below all the instructions given by her are two very important things. One is an absolute requirement that you are happy, healthy, and holistically wellness oriented. And second most important, it is time tested wisdom. So it's a wonderful idea to keep listening to your mother, and you're going to be a winner for that. And like I said, माँ तुझे सलाम, भारत माता की जय तो है ही है. So unless we go back to our roots, unless we connect to our Vedic principles, unless we recognize the sound science practiced by our rishis, munis, and noted down in the Veds, out of which Ayurveda is the biggest game changer, we are not going to be at all winners. And we don't have to go anywhere. The entire world is coming to us. So we just have to be with ourselves, with our roots. So let us be proud of being Indians. It doesn't mean we close our eyes and minds to the world, not at all. We connect globally, think locally, and become winners. So I hope that this entire offering has created what I say, bon appetit. For what? For a good life, for safety, for happiness, and good health. All these are wishes that I have for you. So thank you for your lovely attention. It's been beautiful addressing all of you. I will repeat saying that I'm so glad that you got me on the Novus team, and God's great blessings to you. God bless you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for your thought-provoking speech. And we have a small question from the participant, Nandini. Her question is, consuming non-veg is good or bad? And it also provides nutrients like egg and fish. So what's your perspective in consuming non-veg, ma'am?
No, I have no problem with you consuming non-veg. I said I sell vegetarianism. Nandini, what I'm specifying to you is that in the present pandemic, we are not very sure of the preparation and pre-preparation practices of the meats, fish, etc. before they come to your home. You are that way much better off with vegetarian consumption. That's exactly what I wanted to say. Please.
Thank you, ma'am. And one more last question. Drinking coffee is good or bad, from Mohan Raj? The question is asked from Mohan Raj.
Sure. Drinking coffee is good or bad cannot be a question. How much coffee do you drink? That could be a point. Always in the area of consumption. I have used this word at least 3, 4, 5 times. Moderation. So limited amount of consumption of a beverage which is hot, like if you prefer coffee or if you prefer tea, that is your like. But it has to be totally limited. It should not be something which you substitute your meal with. Then coffee drinking to a point is okay. If you say drinking coffee is good or bad, and then if I say it's good and then you have only coffee instead of a meal, then it's going to be a problem. That's exactly what I mean.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am. And please. I now request Varshini to conclude the session.
Please.
Thank you, ma'am, for the wonderful session. If the only prayer you say in your entire life is thank you, it will be enough. On behalf of everyone attending the meeting and our supporters, event organizer, and as a coordinator, I extend my hearty thanks to Dr. Jyoti Vora for sharing her precious time with us, exchanging valuable information to our active participants. The session as a whole was very informative and thought-provoking, ma'am. Sure, our participants will make a great use of the content shared today. I wholeheartedly thank our supporting promoters, Sai Varini Creations, RK Engineering Works, and Believe Motivations for helping us organizing this amazing webinar session and allowing us to be a part of it. Last but not the least, I thank the participants who were cooperative and patient throughout the session. Hope this session was useful to the audience. Participants will receive the feedback link only on August 26, 2020. Certificate will be issued to the participants who attend more than 5 sessions. Until next time, this is Varshini signing off. Thank you.